Hey Ben, hey, this is Ben Gessel. How's it going, guys? Um, kind of in line with a few of the other things that I've been talking about recently, a little bit. Let's just go through some foods that are healthy for everyone, but especially for guys. More testosterone type building foods, um, and some of this is also I can tell you from personal experience benefits from some of these foods. So first one here is organic or pasture-raised eggs. Even if you have regular eggs, but if you get this stuff, it's definitely better. This is one of the most important foods, I think, for building testosterone because it has a lot of great cholesterol for that kind of end. Plus, vitamin D and proteins and omega-3s and all kinds of stuff, and all kinds of minerals. So eggs should always be something that you're thinking about in this regard. Building muscle and other, whatever. Um, Organic dark turkey and dark chicken are both very important as well. But I'd say turkey and eggs are even some big boys there. It's just that turkey can be hard to find sometimes. Sometimes you can find the ground turkey, but anyway. Of course, wild caught shrimp is a little more expensive, but it can be great. Um, Pistachios and cashews and almonds. All three of those are great, especially pistachios, I think. Avocado, this is just, again, along with eggs and turkey, avocado is one of the big boys. And I think maybe one of these three nuts. Also walnuts, I mentioned later on walnuts here. One of these, a few of these four. These are some of the big boys. You can probably also include, I'm going to have Brazil nuts later on, macadamias. These are all in that ballpark too. Wild caught salmon and organic spinach. I think salmon is like avocado and eggs. It's just nuts and things. Dried seaweed for the iodine. Clams and oysters, absolutely. Sushi and sashimi. It can be more expensive, but sushi grade salmon is just amazing. Plus, you get salmon with that raw sushi grade salmon, avocado, crab, shrimp. You don't need anything else. You can just stick with those four ingredients. Sorry, it's the fan. I apologize. You can just when you get sushi, just stick for the salmon, the crab, and the shrimp and the avocado, and you've got it made. Plus, it has seaweed, so it's just amazing for you that way. Organic broccoli, absolutely. Tuna, but not albacore tuna. Can save you a few bucks. Sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds, and also other seeds as well, flax and chia and hemp if you're into that stuff. Grass-fed beef. Potatoes, but the thing about potatoes, I'm trying to think how to put this. So I watched some of Dr. Glidden's stuff, and he cautions against eating potato skins, or at least crispy potato skins, and recommends boiling potatoes or put them in a crock pot. What I might do more in the future, I oven roast potatoes sometimes, but I might do the chopping up method and then cooking them on a pan. But I might do more crock pot type things. It's something that I want to avoid those heterocyclic amines and stuff. But that's a little different situation. Anyway, there's a lot to be said about potatoes, but I think they can be helpful. But maybe just don't overdo them. But the worst that could happen is the Irish were fine. I think it's just if the Irish base their diets on potatoes, I think you'll be okay. Berries, of course. Asparagus and the allium family in general. Of course, later on I mentioned garlic. Grapes, herbs and spices, especially some of these guys. Cinnamon. Cinnamon is one of the big ones here. Tropical fruits in general. Pomegranate. Lamb and duck. Even though duck can be expensive. Also lamb a little bit. Mutton is in there. Dark chocolate. Hazelnuts. I like hazelnuts at farmers markets. It's hard for me to tolerate hazelnuts just in the bulk food sections, but and nuts in general. probably peanuts to a certain extent as well, but especially some of the other nuts I've mentioned. Now beans, Adzuki and Anasazi beans are some of the better ones, but there's certainly others as well. But beans can be, I think they're better for you than worse for you in terms of testosterone. But the one, of course, the one type of bean you want to keep a close eye on is soybeans, which is especially the yeah. So okay, so grass-fed butter and Himalayan pink salt. Again, with beans, stick with like moderate amount, not too much, and go for the anything but soybeans, I think. So anyway, grass-fed butter and Himalayan pink salt. This is something I'm still kind of considering a bit more of. Anyway, including bananas and celery. Just being outside and exercising, of course. Mushrooms, raisins, figs, mackerel, herring, and sardines. So all the fishy fish, right? The stuff with the strong odors that you just kind of, yeah, all that Norwegian stuff. Watermelon, nectarines. I mentioned garlic already. Ginger is one of the big ones, along with cinnamon. Honey. Brazil nuts. I don't like the taste of Brazil nuts as much, but they're okay in small quantities. Pecans are, fruity kind of, but they're also good for testosterone. Olive oil. The olive oil, I have to mention this in parentheses because, I keep having this back and forth train of thought with, grass-fed butter versus olive and avocado oil. And again, Dr. Glidden is all about the lard, using rendered or animal lard and butter as opposed to the oils, because he feels that oils oxidize, not so good for you. But that way. But I haven't made up my mind yet in this area. But I think eventually might go more the butter lard route. I don't know. Anyway, venison and cabbage. So there are benefits for all gentlemen out there in all these areas, but I think a good number of these kinds of foods are more expensive. Sorry, sometimes it gets a little blurry here with my. So some of these guys can get expensive, so it's a good idea to watch your budget, and also a few other things. It's true that if oats and things like that, whole 100% stone ground whole wheat oats, and I'm sure quinoa is fine, but a lot of grains are great too, but the gluten isn't so good for you. So just keep that in mind. Yeah. Anyway, leave any thoughts or comments below. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.